Hello there and welcome back to another tier list ranking on my channel. We got another selection that I've listened to all of the songs from. The final is happening, well, at the time of recording, tomorrow. At the time you're watching this, probably today. It's Unser Lied for Liverpool, which is the German selection, and I've just been so busy reviewing songs from all over Europe that I never got around to making a tier list for this selection, and I really want to make one before the final actually takes place. I do have a bunch of favorites in this really strong selection. I have songs, or, well, song in singular, that I'm absolutely despise, so we'll get around to that one very shortly. And then I have a few in the middle, so I'm sure, like, if you've watched my reviews on my channel, you kind of know what song will end up pretty much where. And if you kind of want me to expand a little bit on why I place a certain song in a certain category from the 5 categories we have on screen, there are reviews for all of these songs on my channel where I explain my overarching thoughts in pretty much in detail on my channel if you're interested. For this one, I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. I always think that to myself and I never end up doing it. But maybe today is the day. We're going to start right away. We got 9 songs, we got 5 categories. And yeah, let's see which one I want Germany to send to Eurovision out of these 9 songs. The one that I absolutely do not want to see them send is called Lied mit Guten Text by Ike, and a last name that I haven't put in my memory. But this is pretty much the most despicable song from almost all of the national finals for me this year. It's not the absolute worst. There is some competition, but it's just a song with just so devoid of any musical creativity that it does my head in, honestly. There is like a memorable hook to this song, I'll give it that much, and it's so wacky and, you know, just its own thing that people will find charm in it. I'm just not the right audience for that. I think it's absolutely off-putting with how, I mean, simplistic it is. The production quality sounds awful. The melodic writing is unimaginative, uninspired. The instrumental is mind-blowingly kind of just bare bones, simple, not challenging in any way whatsoever, and especially like the arrangement of it as well, how the instruments work together. It's to basically just create a kind of plastic backdrop for this man in the middle to talk over, basically. I've understood that the lyrical content is somewhat satirical, and kudos to them, but when you got 8 songs that are actually all pretty decent, and some of them really, really great, going for this one would be a massive mistake in my opinion, and I really hope that Germany will pull through here and not go for Lied mit Guten Text. And if they do, well, I know what song I can consider to put last on my personal ranking list for the whole Eurovision later. Most likely. I can't guarantee anything yet, but most likely. We're just gonna... It's not for me. Simple. The category is self-explanatory there, and it's right to a T. It's not for me, this song. We'll move on. We got another song called Hold On, which I think is an alright song. This one is definitely not like in the not for me category, because I think there is an enjoyable aspect in this, and it's the vocal performance. The song, however, is too slow, it's too uninteresting, it has the same thing going for it throughout the entire runtime, it never really gets going, the energy is very laid back throughout the entire runtime, and the vocal performance can't really keep the song alive that much to really like make an impact within this selection. I like the instrumentation of this. I love guitar-driven songs. I like this whole vibe of how the vocal is absolutely so characteristic in this, and how the backing track is pretty pleasant to work with it. It's atmospheric in that sense. It's its own sound to it, pretty tranquil, and just kind of some sort of solace and comfort within the whole arrangement here. But as an overall thing, I think it's too repetitive, it's too slow and pedestrian, and not really interesting enough. And regardless of a really strong vocal performance, which I think has a lovely tone to it, it's not interesting melodically enough throughout, and not really instrumentation-wise either. There's not a lot of variation here, and I think it just kind of goes on, and once it's over, I just feel like the other 7 songs in this selection, not Lied mit Guten Text, of course, just appeal to me more, and are songs that I would rather put on when I want to listen to something. One of the songs, however, that I don't really ever put on, I gotta say, is called Misfit, which is, it's alright. I think this song has great energy in the instrumental breaks of the song. It's really energetic with the guitar riffs, and the drumming is actually insanely good throughout this song. But I have a major issue with it, and it's every chorus has this, like, what do you call it, tacky kind of approach, that they want it to be a bit funny with just having the acoustic guitar, very thin instrumental behind this pretty catchy vocal hook, if we're honest. It has a rhythmic impact to this vocal hook that's absolutely memorable, but I kind of don't click with this instrumental approach. I think that this song really could rely more on the energy that it establishes in the instrumental breaks, really using the instrumentation that they actually have as a prominent part of the song to their advantage, instead of kind of making the song very chopped up. It's not well flowing in terms of its structure. It's very up and down, and these transitions into the chorus, I get that they're there for some kind of, I almost want to say comedic effect, but I'm not sure if that's actually what they're going for. But it's kind of like a wacky effect to have on your song. But it doesn't sit right with me, because I hear so much potential in everything else that's going on here that it kind of just frustrates me instead. It's still alright. I think it's very catchy. I think it's a memorable song. It has lots of energy. Sounds promising altogether, but I have issues with it, and I can't put it higher because of that reason. Simple as that. However, we have 6 songs here that I absolutely enjoy. I gotta say, I think all of these are probably pretty good options for Germany, if I'm gonna be honest. It all comes down to personal preference now, I'd say. And I think Melodies of Hope is just really enjoyable. I don't think this, like, absolutely, it could be a strong alternative for Germany to send, because it would stand out. But for my personal subjective opinion right now, I just think that it's really enjoyable, but it's not something that I ever set out to listen to. I think it's a bit half there, like production-wise and structure-wise. I'd say like the charm is really in like a memorable chorus. The instrumentation is really lovely and has a great flavor to it, which I think makes the song really stand out. I see great potential in this. This could absolutely be a great hit with so many audiences. But for me, it's not something that I think like, oh, this is absolutely the one. It's more just something that I think this is really fun. It's creatively put together. It has charm. It's very inviting and kind of harmless in a way, while also having a fun approach to it. But it's not all the way there to really grab me. And if you want to hear my more kind of detailed thoughts on that, you could always check out my review on my channel. But this one's really enjoyable for me, but it's not all the way there. So that's the way it is. Another song which I will place in the same category, and you're gonna think I'm crazy because I think I take out all of the favorites now. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked that carefully at the odds, but I'm pretty sure that is it called? Oh, what's it called? It's like Land of the Lost or Lord of the Lost. I can't remember. I'm terribly sorry. You know what song it is. You can see the image. I think what really makes this one stand out is like the whole package of this. As a song, it's not particularly my type of music. I do like I can always click with all of the subgenres within rock, almost all of them. This one I find charming. I think the vocal delivery is pretty great. I think the song's instrumental has a great drive to it. It's produced well. It has a very convincing sound altogether. I find it really enjoyable. But at the same time, I can't put it higher because to my subjective taste, this isn't something that I would listen to personally. It would absolutely be a great alternative for Germany to go for because it would stand out. It's memorable. It would leave an impression and an impact on all audiences across Europe for sure. Whether good or bad, you know, that's up to subjectivity. I kind of just really enjoy the whole package of this, but the song is not something that I return to. And in a song or in a selection where there are so many songs that I really do return to and really enjoy, I think this one just kind of falls in the category beneath. I feel like it's unfair for me to just put it in enjoyable because I do consider it to be a great alternative, but I want to be a bit sparse, I guess, with how many songs I actually place in the great alternative category, because I would be more thrilled if one of the 4 songs down here at the bottom goes to Eurovision than I would with either of the ones that I put in enjoyable right now. That's just the way it is. And we're gonna move into the great alternative. I mean, in every tier list video, if you've watched them before, I need to pick one winner, and then everything else has to be in the other categories. I can't put 2 winners or no winner at all, you know? I need one. And I know which one I'm gonna put. It's just like the order of the other 3, I don't really think matters too much. If they're in the same category, they're kind of on the same level, unless I say otherwise, I guess. Let's go with, I think it's called Once Upon a Dream, right? Hard-hitting, emotionally loaded, has a great sound to it. I think it's very dynamic throughout. It's a bit like, on the structure side of things, it takes me back a little bit. I explain it more thoroughly in my review, but it's not like all the way there cohesion-wise, I think, but it still has this atmospheric touch to it. It's very poignant in its world building, and I think the vocal delivery is also really strong. It's a song that sticks with me. It's not the most memorable, in my opinion, like melodically, but it might grow into becoming that if I listen to it more often, who knows. But right now I see a lot of potential in this package, and I think it has a great punch in it. And I like the little switch up at the end where the key change is moving downwards instead of upwards. It's always, you know, fun details like that. I think it's a great alternative if they can really put together this into a great live performance. I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like and sound like. I think there's great potential in this one. Really strong entry here. An enjoyable song with great drama to it, and yeah, I think it's a great one. I also think Renee Miller here is pretty damn great. It's not like the most, I guess, mind-blowingly creative song out there, but it has a punch, it has drive, it has power, great vocals, memorable chorus, lovely percussion work in this one. I think the drums sound absolutely massive. And it's just really great package. It sounds like something you've heard a million times before, which could absolutely be considered a bad thing. In my case here, I just feel like I get too much enjoyment out of this because of the vocal is so convincing and the drive of the song is actually so hard, that I just really get dragged into it, and I think it's a lot of fun listening to. I think if it's staged right, this could just really click and really work, because it has that assertive tone to it. It has the energy, has the drive. It's absolutely a song that could absolutely click. And when you got like a selection with so many songs within different genres, sometimes you just gotta hear something familiar and you're just like, this is quality written with something that I'm super familiar with. It just works, and that's exactly what I feel about this song. I think it fits this selection really well. If it wins, I would be pretty satisfied with that. But I have 2 songs. I'll tell you right away that these 2 songs that I have left are my favorites in the selection. Both of them are probably a bit of an odd choice for many of you, because I don't think these are talked about at all. But these 2 were absolutely the ones that stuck with me when I listened to them in the first time in my reviews. And Dare to Be Different is going to be my number 2, I guess you'd say. This would be so fun if Germany actually went with this. Instrumentation is super playful. I love the structure of the song. I think there's a lot of energy to it. I think what sets it apart, though, is like the concept of a performance that you see in the music video is just wonderful. Like, the choreography is out of this world. If it can be nailed live, it could look absolutely incredible with all of these colors. And then you also match that with the very colorful and flavorsome instrumental throughout the song. I think it's really detailed how the instrumental track is laid out. There's a lot of work with panning. Instrumentation is varied throughout. It does clever things transitionally. Sound effects are there. It's just different elements that all come together in creating a really unique listening experience for me. I think it's a catchy chorus, very memorable hook to it. Sounds convincing vocally. Fun performance, the way that it is in the music video at least. It's very engaging with how the choreography works with this energetic backing track as well. And as I said, the chorus is really memorable for me. I can go around humming it because it just sticks with me. I think it's tons of fun. I would love for Germany to go for this one. Don't think they will, but if they end up doing it, I would be incredibly thrilled. The only thing that would make me even more thrilled is if they went with Alle Frauen in mir sind müde, which is one of... I can't really just clarify right away how far up I consider this one to be among all of the national finals that I've listened to this season, but it's probably up in one of my 10 favorite songs that I've listened to in this year's selections, all of them. This one speaks to me, it hits me, it has this raw, authentic tone to it. Very vulnerable vocal performance, works really effectively with the type of backing track that it has as well. The guitar arrangement throughout is wonderful. It's so creatively arranged, it's skillfully played, incredibly skillfully played, and how the guitars are layered on top of each other as well, offering different kind of voices into the collective soundstage that they got going for them here. Really wonderful. Like how subtle the drumming is throughout. The strings really take over, create a very massive soundstage at times towards the end, but the vocal still remains the core of everything here. It's a storytelling song with a very intimate delivery and a very raw tone to it, and it just hits me. It really hits me, and I explained more in my review and really got into every single moment where this one just really hit me. But every time I listen to the song, I just feel like this is a 3 minute or 3.5, if you listen to the full version, I guess, listening experience that I just can't zone out of. The second it starts, I'm into it. I follow it. I want to listen to every single note. I just hold on to everything that goes on and everything I hear. And I think it sounds absolutely wonderful. I love the instrumentation of it. I love the way the song flows. I think there's a decent amount of energy constantly throughout. It's a song that utilizes its structure in a well-crafted way to really make sure the listener feels like it's always on a journey. I know that this one could be considered slow for a lot of people and uninteresting, but once you just really allow yourself to actually kind of take your time and just take this one in, listen to it carefully, just let yourself kind of get lost in the storytelling aspect of it, I think it's one of the most wonderful listening experiences I've had this year. And I told myself, the second that I finished listening to it, I felt like I can't listen to this one too much because the magic will get lost. Well, I've listened to it too much, and the magic hasn't got lost. I'm absolutely hooked by it, and honestly, I won't say addicted, because that's not what I am, but I pretty much need to listen to this every day. I gotta say, I feel so much just kind of a sadness type of comfort in listening to this. It sounds really weird, but that's really what I'm feeling when I listen to it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. If Germany goes for this one, I will never ask for anything again from any country in terms of Eurovision. Maybe I will, but I would be so stoked, and I just hope everything clicks for them in the live performance and everything. I would be thrilled if this is the one that they go for. I highly doubt it, but a man can dream. This is my tier list for the German selection for Eurovision 2023. You probably disagree with me, so tell me what yours look like in the comments. Maybe we have something in common. Other than that, be on the lookout for my channel, or on my channel, for more reviews soon. Maybe a few more tier lists. I don't know. I haven't really planned anything so far, but we'll see. Other than that, I hope you all take care of yourselves until I hopefully see you again very soon. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.